What's up, Helen? How are you? I can't see through these. What's up, Angela? Hold on, I'm cleaning off my glasses. Well, you thought correctly, Rachel. Beautiful bestie. I'm doing fine. I just got home and getting my hair done. We needed to, well, I needed to get rid of the gray. No offense to anybody who likes their gray hair. This girl don't, okay? Thank you, Misfit78. That is very helpful. Hold on. Let me just, well, you know how it is. I'm discombobulated. Let me just get this. There we are. Okay. Sebastian, I did too. It was awesome. Awesome. Does my hair look like the letter A right now? We've got like a cool 30 minutes. You're not going to believe it. Tell me them ducks are back and they're outside the window again. They haven't been outside my window since the last time we went live. They're back, which is, I love them. Well, baby M, I'm glad you're here. What's up, Ziomera? Ziomera. See Joy. Oh, I didn't even see Joy. What's up? Embrace your gray. See, that's why I said no offense to anybody who likes the gray. I don't want to embrace it. My mother is 79. She's still a brunette. Get what I'm saying? She's still a brunette. What is the... I just cleaned these. I think I'm going out of my mind. Grays just aren't for me, man. As soon as they start coming in, it gives that illusion like, I don't know, like my hair's thinning. So I don't like it. Not me. But there are some people who rock gray hair. So it's not that I'm anti-gray altogether. I'm anti-gray for me. Rachel, I love that you noticed because I didn't even say what I had done. Thank you for noticing. Username, Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, that's different. That's different. I have a feeling I need to do this, so give me 1 second. There. Is that better? That's better. I'm getting my hair done tomorrow. I do not embrace the gray. See, Joy, we're soul sisters. So what manifestation topic would we like to discuss? Man, 3D has slammed me lately, trying to just let go of it and focus on new me. I feel good most of the time, but it can be hard when SP is an ass. And I'm going to answer this for sure. To Pratt's and Rocket Star ship, I will come back to those since I had just asked the question. So I will come back to those. All right. So yes, when 3D, I'm just going to say when 3D doesn't look the way we want it to, it can be certainly frustrating and upsetting because it feels like this is real life, right? And once you are aware of consciousness, or that you are consciousness, I feel that is the beginning of trying to break out of the habit of seeing 3D reality as solid, permanent, right? You're kind of stepping into the understanding that it's actually quite malleable. You could even say fluid. So it's not permanent. When we're getting upset and frustrated over it, it's because in that moment, we're forgetting that. We're forgetting that. I like to look at it as we're re-entangling ourselves to reality, because if you were, really thinking about you being consciousness, and you know that 3D has to be the reflection of your conscious awareness, that whatever's in your face must change. And not only must change, but is also, if you are, again, like these are my words. So when you're knowing yourself as the I am, and from the I am, you're focused on a version of yourself. And again, we're infinite, right? There's infinite versions of us, infinite choices to make, decisions to make on self. If you know that you're being aware of whatever it is, you're manifesting, or knowing yourself as through identity, the self with the desire, then whatever you're experiencing in reality must be a part of that, or a connection to that, or the reflection of that. And that's where people get lost. So we're going to say, for example, continuing with, your question, your comment. So when we're manifesting, let's say, a relationship with a specific person, and that specific person in the immediate 3D, so what we can say the immediate mirror right in front of us, when they're showing up unfavorable, most people lean back into logic and immediately start applying logic or being literal to what's in their face. And first of all, I think everybody has an initial reaction to whatever they're experiencing. So when SPs are not showing up great, I think everyone has an initial response to it. We don't like it. We judge it, right? We see it as unfavorable. I don't think anybody should judge themselves for that. I think that's just the human in us. But when you're noticing the not feeling good, when you're noticing that you're frustrated, that's the time to remember, wait a minute, wake back up. I am the I am. I am. And this is who I'm knowing myself to be. I'm just going to say, again, my words. I'm the version of self in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That's who I know myself to be. If I've got someone being an ass in front of me, number one, I'm not someone that's going to sit there and just put up with it, right? I'm not. I don't think anybody should be a doormat just because you're aware of conscious manifestation. I think most of you know my feelings on that. We are not doormats. But I then would take a look at, why am I frustrated? Why am I upset by such and such actions? Or however they're showing up. Maybe they're just cool today, right? That hot and cold behavior. Maybe they're cool today. All right, why am I letting that bother me? What is that telling me? Who am I really in this moment? And again, this isn't about scolding yourself for having something bothering you. That's not it at all. It just means, all right, what about the identity? What about who I'm being is getting bothered by this. And we could say, all right, what belief is this? But even with beliefs, I don't think that we should be, constantly scratching our brain trying to find more and more shitty beliefs. I think we should be just living our lives, knowing ourselves to be who we want to be. And then when we notice we're upset, that's when you just ask yourself the question, why is this bothering me? And you're separating yourself from reality. You're taking that step back, viewing reality from afar. However, this is one of the reasons why I say, I do not like the idea. So this is my opinion. This is just my opinion. I don't think it's helpful to look out to reality and immediately see that as, okay, SP is not showing up good today. SP is acting like an ass today. So that's my reflection. That's my 3D feedback. So therefore, that must be who I am. And I disagree with that. You see, because and again, what I'm saying is quite nuanced, but when we do that, we look out, SP's being like acting like an ass, SP's acting unfavorable, SP's acting hot and cold. Well, that must mean, because we hear, this is my reflection, well, then that must mean that, oh, I'm not in the state I want to be in. I'm not my new self. Because this is what I see in front of me. I must not be there yet. I don't think that thinking is helpful. So I'll give you an example. I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and this topic came up with, all right, this person was saying, I have been really noticing the internal changes within herself. So, I want to say like she was on like a good train track. I don't know. She was really moving and grooving and stepping in her new self. And she really did feel like she was her new self. And then something unfavorable showed up with a couple of her friends. And the friends were not being favorable at all. And her instinct, like anybody, can't even talk, like anybody else would look at that and have the response like, wait a minute, I've been doing great. My mind has been in a great place. I know who I've been choosing to be. Why did this show up? And she and I were talking about that. And I said, no, let's not go there. Let's not label that. Let's not say this unfavorable thing happened, so therefore this is who I am. No, throw that in the garbage. Life 3D is going to keep lifing. Life is going to keep lifing. If we are dead set that we have to label that circumstance something, okay, well then let's label that a manifestation of your old self. I don't even think that's really necessary to give it the label. Instead, stand in your decision that you are who you say you are, and see if you notice that you're reacting or responding differently. And what she told me, she immediately noticed that how she responded to that, we'll call it the circumstance, was totally different than her old self would. And I said, there you go. That's what I mean. There's that evidence. There's your validation that you really have changed. You really are identifying as a new self. Reality is reflecting. I think that people think that, well, I'm consciously manifesting, so nothing bad's going to happen in reality. And I'm not trying to tell you bad things are going to happen. I'm just trying to say, but life keeps lifing. So you might have, let's say, a bad day at work. It just might happen. Somebody might be irritating at work. That doesn't mean you're not in the state. That doesn't mean that you're not your new self. That doesn't mean you're in a shit identity. How you respond to it, how you perceive it is who you are. So instead of, beating up on yourself, like, what am I doing wrong that SP is being an ass today? Not that you said that, Angela. I'm just using your question as an example. What am I doing wrong that SP, is acting like an ass? No, what are you doing right? What does it make you feel like? Or are you handling him being an ass different? Or are you looking at it and reacting to it like your old self would? It's a pretty good chance that you're probably responding to it differently. And again, this isn't necessarily to judge ourselves for how we respond to things. I'm saying that whenever we are consciously manifesting, doesn't matter what it is, you are your own validation, not the 3D. Don't get me wrong. I know we're manifesting because we want to experience something in the 3D. I know that. And that will happen. But the changes are going to be most noticeable within yourself first. SP will change. So when SPs aren't showing up the way we want them to, okay, what are they doing? How are they showing up? How are you responding to it? What meaning are you giving it? The last meaning I would ever give is, this isn't working, they're never going to change, or I must be doing something wrong. No, fuck that. Stand in your decision, right? Brazen impudence. You know who you are. You are the I am. What's bigger and badder than that? Nothing. Nothing. And from there, I am that I am. So I am that version of self in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with a loving version of that specific person. That's who I am. Stand in it. Now, granted, I'm not telling you if they're acting like an ass to keep putting up with them. I don't mean it like that. But don't immediately label it that there's something wrong. Do you see what I mean? It's changing. It must. If you're doing your part, and the only part that we're asked to do is know yourself to be the self that has whatever it is you're manifesting. Know yourself to be that. Know that you already are that because you're the I am. From there, everything else is taken care of. So if a shit circumstance pops up and you know that you've been doing what you're supposed to, then that shit circumstance that maybe in this moment we just don't understand why it's here must be leading to the outcome. It must. Period. See what I mean? I try to take my focus off reality and put the focus back on me and who I am, chosen in peace and love. I love that. I know I definitely choose differently, a different self right now. See, this is 1,000% what I needed to hear today. This is totally fitting in with a bunch of little unfoldings. That makes me very happy to hear. Yes, yes, yes. What is did I turn off? Did I turn something? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I didn't. I'm like, what is going on? Okay, sorry. Oh, geez. I am definitely don't want to butcher your name. Lasset. Lasset Verd. No, I'm not even going to try. Hi, Queen. My lovey. Oh, God. Dog passed away. I really miss her so much. I can't understand. I know I'm God, but why can't I see her now? Well, first of all, I am so incredibly sorry. My gosh. I just can't even imagine. I myself am someone, I can't even think about the loss. I can't. And I'm saying, and just, I can't even think about my own, can't think about it. So I can't imagine the pain you're experiencing. And I'm so sorry that that happened. I'm sorry for anybody who loses. I don't think pets are just animals. I don't think that way. Like she's my daughter, and that is how I see her, and that is how I treat her. This is my child. So again, I'm trying to hold back my own emotions here. I am so incredibly sorry. But why can't you see her now? You might not be able to see her because she has changed energy. But that doesn't mean she's gone. See, I think that when we pass, I think all we're doing is changing energy, because energy can't be destroyed. So I think that we leave the physical meat sack and we become, you know, what we could say the spiritual version of ourselves. Or there's a better word and I'm just not thinking of it. And I do think of it as it's an upgrade. We're so used to, in this physical realm, we think of death as an ending, something, you know, yuck, that some of us are even afraid of experiencing. But I think it is an upgrade, because you're losing this meat sack that keeps us in the physical, and we're allowed to move and groove anywhere we want to. That's what I think happens. That's my personal belief. And I think she's still with you. That's what I think. Oh, 15 years. My God. There are just not the right words for things like this. There's no word that is going to fully even try to describe the feeling you must be having right now. And there's not a word. Sorry doesn't feel like a big enough word. But I am sorry. I just can't imagine it. God. Yeah, I am so sorry. Oh, what's this? Absolutely changed energy. When my cat died years ago, I know that her energy was in little things like the wind in the trees. They know how to show you where they are. Oh, God, see, I love this. I hope that you take solace in what Honey Girl just said to you. You know, there's some people out there, you know, who sense energy, they read energy. There are people out there who believe that they can sense spirits and all that stuff. And for any credible ones, I know that there are some who have sensed more than just previous humans. So I've heard of people knowing that they're old or experiencing that their, you know, previous, I'm going to call them fur baby, around them, just like Honey Girl. So I bet you she's still with you. And, you know, just like Honey Girl experienced, I'm sure there's some way that she can let you know that she's there. Because I don't think she's gone. Yes, I believe that. She's with you everywhere you go. Yeah. Once again, I'm really sorry. That's just heartbreaking. Marie Manifest New York. Thank you very much. Manifested doing fun things with SP. But I usually suggest plans. I would ultimately like to manifest marriage. I'm ready. I've been 4 years of ups and downs. Okay. You manifested doing fun things with your SP, but I usually suggest plans. Okay. So what I'm hearing is you want to manifest marriage, but I'm thinking you also want to manifest the experience of having SP ask you to do things. So it's not always left on your plate. That's what I'm hearing. I know you didn't use those words, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. So, yes, okay, I figured. I had a feeling. I don't claim to be psychic, so that's not what I meant by the feeling. Wait a minute, what did you write? Lavender lights. Oh, when my babies, dog and alley cat that adopted us, passed, I had a tattoo and ashes in the ink. Oh, wow. They're always around. Like Kim says, she's with you no matter what. She's energy. Keep eyes open. Oh, yes. That was nice of you to share, Lavender Lysol. All right, so Marie Manifest New York. I would say, if I were you, I would take a look at, you know what I'm going to say, identity. Who do you believe you are? Who do you believe your person is? See, one thing I see with people manifesting a specific person, and I know because I did it myself, is once you have an idea of, you know, who you believe your specific person is, we can get locked in with that. And I don't mean like we're locked in for life. I'm just saying that it becomes a habit. So the habit of you're the one who always has to suggest things. You're the one who always has to do the plans. He doesn't take that action. So we can have the habit that that's just who he is. I would be making a decision that he's someone who suggests things now. He pursues you. You know, he makes it very clear that he wants to be with you and wants to spend time with you. He makes you the priority. So now, how does that tie in with your own identity? So just like you know yourself to be the self who does fun things with her SP, but you have to do all the suggesting, right? That's an identity. So now we want to instead identify or know yourself to be a woman who's pursued. A woman who is made to feel like she's a priority. Granted, you want to think of this or use words that feel the best to you, right? So maybe just hearing me say, he makes you a priority, maybe that doesn't feel good. Find the words that feel good to you, because everybody's different, right? Everybody else has their own ideas. Hi. It's facing this.
You don't want to see me.
Well, they actually do, but my boyfriend just got home. That's why I warned us that this would not be a super long live today.
Poop does.
Poop does. Poop's happy, yes.
This is?
So, Marie Manifest, New York. Think about it right now. Who do you really believe you are? Poop. Shh. Who do you really believe you are? Because like this doesn't have to take a long time to make these changes. This can be done like that if you'll allow it. Because at every given moment, you're deciding who you are. Literally every moment. All right, come on. Stop. Well, do you have something for her? And that's what she's begging? Oh.
Who do you think you're talking to?
I think I'm talking to you. He does Poop's voice. That's what he's doing. I think too, Marie, before I go into the next one, I want to say too, all right, no more, at least this is what I would do. I would not be counting time anymore. Like, I know you're very aware that it's been 4 years. Let's not count time anymore. Put the focus on being the you that you want to be, and start, where you're interacting with 3D reality, see it as it's changing with you. It's reflecting you. So let's say you see your specific person tomorrow and he doesn't mention plans, and you have to be the one to mention the plans. Don't assume this hasn't worked. Don't immediately go to that thinking. Continue with identifying with the self you want to be, and know, even if he shows up, let's say, not the way you prefer, that doesn't mean this hasn't worked. Because your perception is reality. That's why I'm making that very clear. If you're perceiving it as, I'm still the one who has to make all the plans, well, you control yourself when you show up and interact with reality. So don't make the plans. Take the action of being the version of self who doesn't have to. And what I mean by take the action, I mean show up to reality as her. Carry yourself as her. Do you see what I mean? I'm going to say less said. Thank you very much. My SP didn't send me even a message. I'm mad and absolutely sad. Well, that was shitty of your SP, and I'm sorry. But what do you really believe about your SP? How would you describe them to someone? If you had to tell me about your SP, what would you say? How would you describe, the personality, their typical behaviors, how they treat you? Is it all favorable? Or are there things that, you would prefer were differently, like being, loving, respectful, kind? Would take the time to give you a message after you just experienced a loss. So I would check with that. What you really believe about your person. And what do you expect from love? What do you expect from, relationships? And that's all tied up with your identity. That's why I just use that one little affirmation, the version of self in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Because all of those words imply to me that's what I'm experiencing. That I must be experiencing, someone who's caring, loving, kind, respectful. He is cold. He loves you, but he's cold. All right, so number one, I would change that immediately. I would stop describing him as cold. And I would start describing him, seeing him, and therefore who you're identifying as. So remember that. How we walk around believing ourselves to be from moment to moment to moment is how we then experience reality. So if we believe that he's cold, now don't get me wrong, I believe you that he has done actions that have made you feel like he's cold. So I believe that. But we want that to change. We want to see him differently. So you choose the words that feel good to you. I know he loves me, but he's also very caring. He makes it very clear that he, shows me respect, gives you love, attention, and affection. Whatever words make you feel like you're in a fulfilling relationship. So the more we start to see him differently, the sooner he can change. Marie Manifest, you took it as a good sign that mine walked in on your question? I like that. Oh, Priya, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think. First of all, it's one of those tubing mascaras. Oh, I can't think of the name. Hold on. Let me check something. Hold on, hold on. It is. I'm discombobulated. There's me talking on my live stream. Okay, I got it from, the brand is Wow Combo. Wow Combo Cosmetics. And I got it from there. Thank you so much, Prats and Priya. Thank you. How perfect does your mental diet have to be? And should you be flipping thoughts? I would not be flipping thoughts. But I also don't know how new you are to conscious manifestation. So what habits have you already built for yourself? And all I mean by that is, who are you walking around from moment to moment knowing yourself to be? At the end of the day, that's really the only thing that matters. We don't have to be afraid of our thoughts. We don't. But your overall identity, think of it as your overall identity is what's pulling your selections of reality to you. So the fact that you had a shitty thought, let's say, about your specific person 10 minutes ago, doesn't fucking matter. But who do you believe you are? What's the truth behind the identity? That's what matters. Does that make sense? But you have to accept that you don't have to be afraid of your thoughts, because it's not necessarily the thoughts that are manifesting, because we manifest from the identity, right? You're manifesting. The power behind manifestation is your I am consciousness. From there, it's what we are aware of, or who we are aware of being. So your true self is consciousness, or the I am. So no, flipping thoughts is not necessary. Let me say it like this. Maybe this will help. I know who I am as identity, or which identity, which self I am. And if a shitty thought comes in regarding my own boyfriend, I'm not afraid of that thought. I'm not afraid of that thought manifesting. 5 years ago version of Kim would have been afraid of that thought manifesting. And because I had that intense fear over it, I would think about it more and more and more until what? Until I was completely identifying with the fear of that thought and the fear of it manifesting. And then, boom. Hot and cold behavior, consistent hot and cold behavior. Nope. Not anymore. I don't have to fear my thoughts. Not every individual thought manifests, but identity does. I hope that makes sense. Now, I know earlier I said that I would quickly talk about, thanks, Kim, for being you. Needed as yours this morning. I got to focus more on my own thoughts. You are welcome, my friend. Shit thoughts don't manifest. Staying in those shit thoughts do. Staying in it, marinating in it, identifying as it. Earlier, I asked, oh my God, I didn't see, darn it. I didn't realize the time. I have to go. I'm going to tell you right now. Hold on. I will be back live tomorrow. So put that down. I will probably go live after 2 o'clock. And I'm thinking probably about 2:30. So I will go live tomorrow and we can pick this up. We'll talk about surrendering. We'll talk about revision. And I saw somebody else ask about something. Talking about acting as if, right? Can you explain acting as if? So we will talk about those 3 things. I'll start the live off talking about those things. And then if somebody buys a super chat and questions, we'll answer questions like usual. But that we'll have those topics to start off with tomorrow, okay? So, I love you all. I'll see you all 2:30-ish tomorrow. Okay, p.m. Eastern Standard Time.